if you are a solo videographer like I am, someone who shoots, small concerts, gala presentations, seminars, those kind of stuff, corporate events here and there. I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you should consider shooting multicam if you haven't been doing that already. All right? So let's get into it. By the way, my name is Owen, and if you're happening on the channel for the first time, thank you so much for watching. All right, so let's talk about it. Point number 1, shooting multicam where you have, 2 or 3, 3 or 4 cameras. I'm going to say 3 to 4 cameras from different angles. Shooting multicam, it just gives you more coverage. This is something that I have been doing for the last maybe 5 years or more. I'm not a full-time videographer. I don't have a production company, and in many cases I can't hire a second shooter to shoot with me. All right, so what I have to do, I have to kind of strategically place cameras throughout the venue to get the kind of coverage that I want. All right, so point number 1, just having different cameras strategically placed in different areas of the venue just gives you more coverage, right? Better coverage. Number 2, just the fact that you shoot multicam, you already have backup footage. You have a backup camera. So if something should, inadvertently go wrong with your main camera and you need to change, so you need to change the lens, or, you're running low on card space, or your battery is dying on your main camera, which should not happen, by the way, if you were prepared. None of these things should happen. But, stuff happens. But the fact that you're shooting multicam gives you the option to kind of quickly change the battery or quickly change the lens, and you have coverages, the other cameras are rolling. So therefore, the 2 or 3 seconds or 10 seconds that you have to shut down your main camera to change a lens or replace a battery, it's not a big deal because you have coverage from other angles. All right, so that was point number 2. You have a backup camera, you have backup footage, that is being recorded with your other cameras. All right, that's point number 2. Point number 3 is that the fact that you're shooting multicam and you're solo, it's just you alone, it offers, when you go to the edit, your edit can be a little bit more engaging. You understand what I mean? Your edit will be a little bit more interesting because you have your main camera, you have a side angle, probably you have a camera that is capturing reaction, shots and those kind of stuff. And you have the fact that you have better coverage adds more interest and engagement for the viewer when you hand that the finished video to the client, whoever is viewing it. Just the fact that you have all these different angles, it just makes the video a little bit more interesting, a little bit more engaging, a little bit more interactive in a way, So that is point number 3. Point number 4, shooting multicam is good if you don't use a gimbal. And me personally, I don't use a gimbal. And I don't use a gimbal basically because, for 2 or 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is that I don't feel, I'm an old guy. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not, I have this thing in my head that gimbals are for young young filmmakers, young guys, running around or doing stuff on a gimbal. I don't think it's for me. I don't think it's, it's for my demographic in terms of age group. So, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm aging myself too much. But, that is one of the reasons I don't use a gimbal. Reason number 2 why I don't use a gimbal is just because it takes a little bit too much time to set up and to balance and that kind of stuff. Just the setup and the balancing, yeah, I just can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered with that. Another reason why I don't use a gimbal is the fact that, even though, if I use a gimbal, I would be moving around and capturing different shots. But a gimbal is not the only camera I would be running. At any given time. I would still be probably running a main camera and maybe another one, depending on the kind of event that I'm shooting, what it's all about. And my worry is that I may end up in my own shot from another of those gimbals. And the unlucky part of it is that when I end up in my other shot, the camera on my gimbal may not be recording at the time. I may have probably forgot to press record. So not only do I don't have any footage from the gimbal, or the footage is messed up, but I am in my own shot from another camera. You see what I'm saying? I don't know, guys, maybe I'm just a little bit too paranoid. Yeah, but that's just the way I think. So those are the main reasons why I don't use a gimbal. And another reason is that gimbals, if you're not using them, they get outdated and I don't know. It's like every 3 months there's a new model. You can't keep up. So yeah. So what I'm trying to say, if you don't use a gimbal, right, when you're shooting your events, shooting multicam might be a good way to go, right? Just because of the amount of variety of shots that you can still get being, while being a solo shooter, all right? So, I just thought I would, kind of share that with you that, if you are a solo creator, if you are a solo videographer or filmmaker, however you want to call yourself, shooting multicam, maybe, I'm going to say, is something that you should probably think about doing, I find that it offers a lot of advantages. Like I said, better coverage, backup footage from backup cameras, adding more interest to the edit, and just the fact that if you're not using a gimbal, then it's a good option. All right. So just thought I'd share that with you today. Something you should consider. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or insightful, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to follow or subscribe. Okay. Have a great day now. Bye-bye.